Well, welcome back to this episode of At the Trenchless Table. Today we've got Cole Andrews, we've got Cole Nordin, and Logen Plumb. We get to hang out and talk shop. And so both of these fellows today are with Midwest Infrastructure Coatings out of, oh my gosh, cities just fell away. It's Missouri.
Yeah,
Branson West, Kimberly City, Missouri.
Kimberly City, that was the one I was looking for. Thanks, fellas. Well, at the table, fellas, we want to talk about the skilled trades and how we got here. And so give us a little bit of background, Logen, about you and how you got to where you're at today with Midwest.
So I say it's all about people you know.
Mm-hmm.
I just went to high school at ASA, moved into our high school when we were juniors in high school. And just one day, I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life at 22. All I knew is my uncle lived in Florida. I was probably about 2 months from moving to Florida, full on. And then Brian calls me one day and asks if I wanted a job. And I knew I wanted to move to Florida, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I was like, well, I better at least try this out for a little while. I told myself I'd give myself 2 years, see where I go. Well, now I'm almost 3 years in and I'm still here. So, that's just really how it was for me, I guess. I had no idea what I wanted to do. Didn't go to college, just kind of worked at the lake in Kimberly City, Missouri in the summertime. Just found odd side jobs in the wintertime, whether it was, working at a retail store, just anything like that. And then finally, Brian asked me and gave me a full-time job and something like with purpose, I guess you could say. Company was young. We saw where ART was. They were like, this is where we want to be, and just, it gave me a reason to do it, not just for me, but, guys I knew, guys I work with. I'm not working for somebody I don't know. If I was working at Walmart or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's how I am here now, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Midwest it's a family-run business, family-run company, owned by Colby Baker and Brian Baker, and Aces doing sales and marketing now. Just came in about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago.
2 years ago, I believe.
And so definitely all about the family-run business at MIC. And so, Cole, tell us about yourself. How did you get where you're? Well, I'm sorry. Before we get there, what is your position? What are you doing for MIC now?
So I've been a crew lead / foreman, I guess, wherever you work. That's just what I call it. Mm-hmm. And then I've been doing that now for probably 18 months. I've been crew lead foreman.
Good.
So that's just where I'm at, I guess.
Good.
What would you say, Logen, is your favorite thing about being a crew lead? Is it the physical work? Is it the guys?
So, I don't think anyone likes just genuinely getting in manholes every day.
Okay, fair enough.
I think my biggest thing, I guess, just in the company in general, maybe not being a crew lead, is, starting a hole from start to finish, seeing how it looked before, then seeing it orange, and then our camaraderie and our company is just, we spray a nice hole, you send it to everybody else, and you're talking crap. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I'm the best one, who's going to do better? It's just, that's my favorite thing, I guess.
There's a plug for business and athletic and the correlation. I think I'll be a broken record on this podcast table of the correlation between sport and business being that it's not as much fun without a little bit of competition. So I love to hear that that's the part of the culture.
So, Cole, how about you? You're currently a project manager for Midwest Infrastructure Coatings. And so tell us your journey. How did you get to where you're at today? College, no college?
Well, kind of like Logen, it was kind of a right place, right time. I was going to college.
Mm-hmm.
I was working as a hotel maintenance man as well as coaching a middle school basketball team. And happened to know Asa and Brian and Colby through Asa going to school with us. And he offered me a job, and I dropped out of college and basically went out on a limb, and I was one of the first guys who started here, and it's been great these past 5 years. I've loved it. So
good. So that journey looks like what? You were in college, you were a hotel maintenance man, got the phone call. What's next? Blind faith going in?
We had to wait around on the truck to get built and everything. There were some complications with that, but I started out as a wash guy. And then probably 8 months down the road, Matt ended up leaving, who was originally our first foreman, crew lead, whatever. And then I was a crew lead for all the way up until last May, whenever I got the project management position. So,
No, very cool.
On a side note, if sales doesn't work out for Asa, it sounds like he potentially has an opportunity in recruitment for his future profession.
yeah.
A magnetic guy, I would say. But I think what you were trying to get to is, what did life look like kind of before MIC? You can hear it in your tone, but I want to hear it in your words.
I mean, it was kind of the same thing every day. You're talking like my previous job, or you mean in
Life before MIC. What did it look like? What did it feel like in comparison to what now might be?
It was the same thing every day. I showed up to a hotel, and this is what you got to fix, this day in, day out. But now it is, it's nice having different guys around me, guys that I enjoy, that I went to school with, that I knew prior, and tackling different obstacles every day, whether it's manholes, lift stations, clarifiers, you name it. I mean, we're all sorts of different stuff. So.
Yeah, and not to throw you totally under the bus, but prior to this conversation, we had another one that they gave a little light into who you were when they first brought you on, and it wasn't the big, strong man that you are now.
Yeah, I was known as the pretty boy of the trades, I guess, so to say. So, yeah, but the trades have definitely helped me become more of a man, I guess you could say. I've learned a lot through Brian and Colby. I wasn't the most hands-on guy. I had picked up tools, as Colby said. I looked like I had never picked up a hammer, but yeah, this has definitely helped form me into the man that I am today. So I'm blessed for that.
Awesome.
Background in construction. Either of you guys come from like a family of construction workers, or?
Nope. So, I mean, my uncle owned a construction company for a little while, and then my dad is a manager at that construction company currently.
Yeah.
My uncle doesn't own it anymore. But my dad's still there. That's kind of all I had, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
Me, so.
A little taste of it at least, so you kind of knew what a hammer was at least.
Yeah, I worked there in my younger days for a little while, but I knew.
No pun intended.
I knew this wasn't where I was going to end up, so.
Tell us about the culture. So it sounds like it's recruitment of people that you already know and are comfortable with, but tell us about the culture of what it's like working at MIC.
So, I mean, it's like Ace said, they talked about college football earlier. Same thing with any sport in high school, not just college, but, you know, we get there. It's like we have a set amount of vertical footage or structures we want to do a day, you know, and then 4 crews, we're all talking about who's going to do more. You know, I mean, obviously you want to do it the right way, but we're all talking who's going to do the most, who's going to do more. So obviously at the end of the day, that pushes us to, we'll get more done than we need to, and then get more jobs done throughout the year. The culture, I mean, just the camaraderie of all the guys is just, everybody gets along with everybody. You know, we might have a guy here or there coming in and he might not work out, but, you know, he was still part of that camaraderie where, you know, he was getting along with everybody. That's just at the end of the day, ultimately, he didn't want to do this, you know, but outside of that, we have 9, I think, ish laborers, you know, and they're all, I mean, you could talk to any of them every single day. You know what I mean? It's just, anybody would work with anybody. So
that's good. How about you, Cole?
If this tells you anything, we have a group chat with all the guys that you do not make it in until you have sprayed a manhole. So there's kind of that want to from everybody from the time that they first start and everything to want to spray, as well as kind of like Logan saying, you want to be the best. Just about everybody does. They're always trying to see who can spray the most vertical footage, showing off their best manhole or lift station or whatever. So it's always a competition, and it's a good, friendly competition. The guys get into it, and they really enjoy it. So
that's cool. So you guys have, like, I guess a fraternity. You don't get in until you spray a manhole.
Yeah.
And then you got bragging rights, right?
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Number one burning question I have right now is, who sprays a better hole between the two of you?
I'm not going to, you can ask Colby Baker.
Logan sprays every day right now, but if you were to give each of us the time and you told us about it, I think I could probably get him. But it'd be a close one.
I think if you gave him as much time as you wanted, Cole's got the better hole. But you give us 10 holes throughout the week, on average, mine will look better.
All right. I like the competition. I love the jabs here. So there's not a lot that we do that you get to see. And so you do have to take pride in what you're doing. And that sounds like something that you guys really, you haven't said it yet, but that's what you're saying is it's an honest day's work for an honest day of pay, but you take pride in what you're doing at the end of the day, even though nobody sees it. You're an artist, and you probably didn't even realize, hey, when I grow up, I'm going to be an artist.
Yeah.
You kind of are, but nobody sees it. Give me the worst day that you've had.
Oh, God.
I can think of one right off the top of my head. It was actually us two. We were in a lift station. I can't remember where it was, a bigger lift station. They had no way of bypassing it, nothing. And they couldn't get it sucked down. So we're in chest waders and wastewater up to about our waist, just prepping and washing and then spraying a lift station. That was a rough one. But I mean, you have countless stories of somebody out in a field accidentally turning on a force main and then you get hit with water or whatever. There's all sorts of ones, but that's just kind of what sticks up to me.
One of those days that minutes feels like hours, and are we ever going to get this thing done?
So I guess I got two. One being like first brick hole I ever sprayed. I was a 10-footer, started spraying it, and it's not that anything was wrong with it, like if I sprayed it now, but I got in, it was like 100 degrees outside, and I sprayed about half that hole, and I'm like, get me out of here. And then right then and there, I started recontemplating, like, do I really want to keep doing this? Like, this is hot.
Life choices right there. You had to...
You know, now it's like it's no problem doing that. But I guess my worst, like, actual day was just in a town, you know, we're doing all brick holes, and we ended up doing, like, this is before we had a grout gun. Hadn't been around that much, so there was only a few people we could call, really. And in the company, it was either Cole or we're calling somebody else, you know. And it was, we put like 65 tubes of grout in the hole because we didn't have a grout gun, you know. And then,
Thank you, by the way.
Yeah. And then eventually we ended up getting it, but it just, we were there for like 3-4 days, and Brian's asking us, why is it taking you guys so long? I'm like, I think you need to come down here and check this hole out because we're not just slacking. We can't get it done. But eventually we did. It just took a while.
Another question I got is being that you work with a family-run business, and it sounds like you got a great culture, good leadership, and there's a good example there. So tell us what it's like working for MIC, the Baker family, and how that has maybe helped what's the word I'm looking for?
Ultimately, kept them both around, right?
Yeah.
They kept them around, get you excited to go to work every day, and then create that fraternity that creates the culture that keeps things going. Like what has created that to enable that to happen?
So I guess for me, I mean, like we said earlier, I mean, Asa moved here our sophomore year of high school. I mean, I wouldn't say he was at school for less than a day. Felt like we were already friends, you know, and that just carried on. And then I met Brian, and then I met Colby, and then they have another brother named Garrett. And I just was like, they're pretty cool. And then just over time growing up, going to Ace's house all the time. Didn't see Colby as much in our younger days, I guess, but just seeing Brian as more, and then started this job, kind of see him as like a second father figure in a way, where it's just like, at the end of the day, no matter what happens, he just wants to make sure we're okay, whether something bad happens or anything like that. And just, you know, because at the end of the day, there's days where like I'm talking to Brian more than I'm talking to my dad, you know. It's just, and then that's just how it was for me, how I feel. And then guys that I want to continue to work for in a way that, you know, I know him personally. It's not just like, hey, he's my boss, or, you know, they're my worker or whatever. It's more of a, like they said, family thing. And we have bought in, you know, just to want to keep growing it and see it the way where it can go also, like they can, you know.
Absolutely. How about you, Cole?
Well, you guys have met the Bakers. They're big, scary individuals at times, but ultimately, at the end of the day, they truly want what is best for you. Brian says it all the time. He doesn't want to have to call any families or anything, and I genuinely believe that they care more about the individual than the company itself when something were to happen or whatever. And that is one of the biggest things for me. You can't find that everywhere. also, like Logan kind of said, it's a family-run business, but it feels like a family. Brian, I've had a lot of long, rough talks with Brian and Colby, and they're both kind of father figures to me in a way. So that's the biggest thing for me.
You can't hardly put a price on that. You know, when you show up to work and you feel that kind of the culture, the draw, the pride, it all works into wanting people to get their boots on in the morning and go to work.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Real quick. What'd you want to be when you were a little kid?
Great question.
An NFL football player.
Because you're massive. That makes sense. Okay, Cole?
I wanted to be a basketball player, oddly enough. But
You're not massive.
yeah, I did not hit the growth spurt to have that happen. So
Gotcha.
here I am.
I'd say you guys landed in a pretty sweet position nonetheless.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
Not too bad. NFL football player would be a little better, but this will do. It's a good second.
Still got some eligibility left out in the bench.
Put on a few pounds, get back to the weight rooms. Might hamper the ability to get inside these manhole structures, but no, it was good to have you guys here today. And so it's been great to get to know you guys this week at Obicon and learn about your guys' story and have you at the Trenchless table. And so, Cole, you got anything left that you want to ask these guys?
Just thank you. A lot of gratitude to your willingness to come on here and just share a little bit about yourselves and what MIC is to not only you guys, but also to Obic and this growth that we're all on together, really.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Appreciate it.
Yes, thank you as well.